maybe the security is not where it should be in poker for all productions for RFID. Maybe some productions have better security than others, but there's so many smaller productions around the country, and I'm sure a lot of them are lackadaisical on the security.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Poker Central Podcast, episode 166. As I am joined by Brent Hanks and Matt Glantz here. Right off the bat, we are here in the PokerGO studio for Dollys Game. We have two exciting nights of action, kicking it off with a little bit of a preview and some questions for Matt Glantz. Because first of all, I want to know before anything else, what's the magic recipe here? Because you're looking really good, Matt.
I've been on a weight loss plan, sort of like running every day, running a mile every day since pretty much since the beginning of July. Lost I think 37 pounds from 230 down to 193.
Oh, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
I am 230. I need to get to. You have to run a mile every day to do that?
Run a mile every day.
No.
Eat good.
No,
eat less and eat good.
Right.
Nope.
And
how much money are you making with this?
So that's the. I was telling Brent earlier. No weight loss bets. I was offered weight loss bets, but I didn't think I could do it for money. I just needed to do it for myself.
Wow.
And I think if I did it for money, it probably wouldn't have worked. So I'm really happy with how it's going, and I'm still shredding the weight, doing good. So.
Do you have a goal? Like, how much more do you need to lose?
I think my goal was like 195, so I'm already past it, but I'm going to go lower.
Wow. You could use a little bit more off the top.
Yeah, probably not.
Just a little bit more off the top.
Brent, I think you'll be 260 before you're ever
100%. Yeah, I'm going the other way. I told Matt I had a 10K free roll to literally go from 230 to 190, and I gained 10 pounds.
Like, you're honestly special. Like I have like about 30 pounds worth of swings every year.
Yeah.
And I hit when I'm in my stride, I'm like, oh man, no one can beat me. I'm gonna get down to like 180 for the rest of my life. Then I hit 185, and then I hit a little bit of a slump, and then I'm back up to 210.
But you're supposed to look like a caveman. That's your thing. That's the Siberian Display.
You know what the real motivation for me was? Knowing that 2 months ago that was going to be scheduled on PokerGo in October. So I had to look good for PokerGo.
Yeah.
Driven.
And these cameras at 10 pounds, so you had to lose some extra. Go. Yeah, that's definitely how it goes. But of course, thanks for being here. This is an exciting night of Dollys Game action. Everyone knows I'm the biggest mixed game fan out there, but I know you're probably an even bigger fan playing all these big games. What I want to know about this lineup in particular, what are some of the rivalries or connections you have with these guys? Like, are we going to see blood on the stream this week? And what are some of the stories there?
It depends how the action goes, but obviously everyone respects Doyle the most. Like, he's the legend of poker, so everyone like looks up to him and likes to pay their homage to him. So that's kind of fun. Eli, Lane, me go way back. Jack died. Well, most guys, he hasn't been on TV before. Most guys don't know him, but all the high limit guys know him and have a lot of previous history with him. So
how about Googles?
Googles is
He's
fun.
An interesting
so
one.
Googles is Nikolai. He's known in the high limit circles as his nickname is Googles, and that's because he started with Google, the actual company.
Right.
And so everyone just knows him as that. He's a Russian guy, a lot of fun, and he gambles a lot. Me, Jack, Nikolai all gamble a lot. Lane. So we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Now Mikey's back in. So Mike Matiso, Lane is.
Mike's
I believe
back.
now going to be our first alternate. Lane
Mike's
Flack.
actually in, huh?
Now Mike Matiso is back in the game.
That's another guy that's
the back's
super
feeling
fun.
better.
Yeah.
Which you can't go wrong with Mike.
He's one of my oldest friends in poker, so I think we've been great friends since like 2004 or something like that. So like he's fun to have at the table, and obviously everyone knows him. One of the most famous guys in poker for all his antics, and he's just a great guy.
You talked about him being one of your oldest friends in poker. Wheel us back a little bit. How did you even get started in this game? And eventually, how did you meet a guy like Mike Matiso and eventually Doyle Brunson for the first time? Can you take us through that?
So I worked in the stock market out of grad school. I was an options trader, derivatives trader for 10 years, from 1993 to 2003. And then sort of the market got more computerized and not as great for us local traders. So I kind of shifted over to poker. Poker was starting to get big in 2004, and I figured at the time, let me try it for a year, see if I can make X amount of money, and if I made X amount of money, I'll try it for another year. And it sort of like blossomed. Every year was better, and poker kind of grew from 2004 to probably like 2010. Every year it got better and better, so it stayed in poker. But through that, just playing like big tournaments at the World Series, met Mike, met Doyle, Daniel, all these guys, and like the one great thing about poker is even when you're starting out, everyone's super friendly to you, and it's like everyone's accessible. The most famous poker players are accessible, and like I see that now. Like when people play with me, they feel like the same way. And when I started out, playing with Mike Matiso or Daniel or Doyle, like you just create a rapport because you have a mutual respect for how you play poker and enjoy each other at the table, and it's really fun to, at the beginning to meet the real famous poker players and eventually form friendships.
So when you get into the game and start playing at a higher level, do you remember walking into Bobby's room for the first time? Do you remember for the first time sitting down in a big like mixed game, cash game, and like battling it out with guys like Doyle?
So I don't remember the first time I played in Bobby's room, but I do remember the time I played the biggest game I played there. So I played 3,000, 6,000 mixed games, which is probably like, I don't know, like 8 years ago. And that was the first time I played that big. Actually, the week before that I played 2,000, 4,000. And I have a good story for you because I played with our friend Eli Lezer, who's going to be on the show today. And one of the first hands I played in 2,000, 4,000, that was the first time I played bigger than like 800, 1,600. So I stepped up more than double to 2,000, 4,000. It was running good that summer. And Eli's at the table with me. And we're playing limit hold'em. And I raised the button. He re-raised from the small blind. I had 2 aces. I re-raised, he re-raised. We went 9 bets pre-flop in limit hold'em. Like I have 2 aces. Nobody goes 9 bets except Eli. All right? So obviously I assume he has aces or kings. The flop comes out, king, 9, 4. Okay? He bets. I just call down because that king comes out. So either he has, in my mind, either has aces or kings. So I'm either chopping or I'm losing the hand. All right? He bets all 3 streets, runs out, king, 9, 4, 5, 5. It turns out he has 2 9s. He flopped into 9s. We went 9 bets pre-flop, though.
Oh, my God.
And that was my welcome to the biggest game I ever played at the time, 2,000, 4,000.
So that's when you knew you would always have to play that game.
That's where I knew poker's going to be good.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Do you have any specific relationship with Doyle at the table? Like I can only imagine that you've come across him a lot of the times, but also when you first started playing, he was already a legend.
Yeah.
So is there a story there of like meeting him or playing with him?
So, I mean, it's kind of sad now, but at the time when the first few years I started playing with Doyle, he would always talk to me and say like, Matt, I really respect you. You're one of the few guys that's a family guy in poker. You're married. You have a good marriage. You're not like fooling around, whatever, and you take care of your kids, and I really respect that. And he would say that like, and he would send me a text on my anniversary, whatever, like that. He really like enjoyed that. Unfortunately, I'm divorced 2.5 years now. This is 10 years later, but so it's kind of a sad story in that respect. But he always respected that, and he really looked at things differently than most poker players.
Sounds like Doyle jinxed your marriage.
He might have.
That's my take.
He might have. Yeah.
What I also want to know, in regards to the mixed games, these are some of the most interesting people that I've ever seen. And when talking to mixed game players, they always have stories of like these eccentric personalities playing. Why do all the weirdos get into the mixed games? Why is it always the crazy stories that come from the mixed games?
So the mixed games are just more fun for me and for most people than playing like big bet PLO or no limit, because in big bet games you can lose your whole stack if you mess up in any one hand. And mixed games, you're playing a limit game, so you can only lose a certain percentage of your stack, so it's not as stressful, and you're just having more fun knowing that you can't lose your whole stack in any one hand.
I'm wondering why you're just assuming that weirdos play mixed games.
Because I know a lot of these guys, and they're all crazy.
Like
all poker players are crazy.
They are,
big bet or mixed games.
Everyone's insane in poker. They're all weird.
That's true. But I feel like in mixed games, it sort of comes out even more. Like you hear stories about, real characters and real personalities, and this. Like the mixed games, they attract a different crowd than the no limit players, and I think it's also.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think about the World Series of Poker main event and all the folks that have made that journey.
But that's the main event. That's different. The main event is a beast in and of itself.
A guy literally took his pants off and whipped his junk out this year and threw his shoe at a dealer, and now he's in jail for terrorism.
Thanks for bringing that up, Brent. That was a good story.
Limit game. What is happening?
So Alan Barry told me stories in the past of a guy like ordering fried rice and putting the bowl on top of his head at the table. That's the kind of crazy
That's Nerdy Al that did it to Alan Barry.
Oh, you did Alan Barry?
That was at the Borgata.
Oh, see, there you go. Good stories like that. If you could ban one game from ever being spread again in the mixed games, which game do you hate the most, and why is it going?
It would probably be one of like the Badusis or Badasis, Drama House. Any of the games that are the slowest games that are split pot games. It's just like, it just wastes time, and everything's so slow, and we got to reshuffle in the middle of the hand. It's just, those games are nightmares, the newer games.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though how mixed game players seem to always want those games in the mix. Like, are they?
Some do.
Are they not understanding that those games might drive away recreational players?
Yeah, so a lot of players don't understand. A lot of professional players don't understand what it takes to build a good game, and they're just looking at their immediate return on investment on the game that they're at.
You said something earlier that stuck with me about your transition from Wall Street into poker, because Wall Street was starting to become very computerized.
Yeah.
I think maybe we're starting to see that trend now,
For sure.
particularly with no limit hold'em in the tournament format. What's your take there? Is this sort of solving mentality good for the game, bad for the game, neither, or is it just maybe a part of the evolution?
Yeah, it's part of the evolution. It's inevitable, but it does hurt the profitability for professional poker players. It's not as easy now as it was years ago.
Is that
for sure.
affecting the mixed game scenario?
It's affecting the
as
mixed
well?
games also. Yeah.
Really?
Games are much tougher than they were years ago.
Are there ways to study mixed games beyond, talking to your friends and going through hand histories?
I mean, the best way is just playing the games at a low stakes to learn them, and just from repetitive hands and playing a number of hands. But you can also learn from those training videos online. Some like Doug Polk's site has a good one with
No
Jake,
free
with
ads.
Jake.
No free ads.
But
Jacob Dalla?
Yeah, Jacob Dalla. He has a good mixed game thing. But yeah, you can learn that way. But really, you need experience in mixed games. You can't do it without experience.
Right. But there's no solvers right now where you can just
Some people have solvers in those games. I don't. I'm not that advanced.
Yeah. So what do you do these days to stay sharp? Is it just playing? Is that enough for you to stay?
I just play good games. It doesn't. The beautiful thing about poker is you don't have to be the best player in poker. You just have to be better than the players you're playing against.
Yeah, that's actually one of the most beautiful things about the game.
Yeah.
Is that as long as you
Right.
have a
I
good
can't find those games anymore.
because you suck.
Yeah.
One of the things that's sort of a hot news item going around on social media, and we really have to cover this because it's all over the place, is these allegations about some form of cheating ongoing with regards to RFID cards and stuff like that. And you, having been involved in the production side of things as well, having played on many streams, how do you view the safety aspect of that, and how do you think that, how do you think the right people are doing it in regards to keeping it safe?
So it's troubling when you hear somebody's might have access to the RFID, or somebody might have access to somebody with the RFID. I think that's what's going on up in Northern California.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it's Stones. That's the casino that.
That's where
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about the specific incident, but I do know I've read tweets from players I respect that seem to have investigated it and seem to think for sure that the guy's cheating.
Everything I saw, we're mentioning RFID, but we have no idea if that's the situation at all.
It seems like the most likely situation.
Right.
But I would hate to accuse anyone of cheating without knowing for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on.
Man.
Yeah. But it is concerning, to Remco's question, that maybe the security is not where it should be in poker for all productions for RFID. Maybe some productions have better security than others, but there's so many smaller productions around the country, and I'm sure a lot of them are lackadaisical on the security.
Yeah, Brent, can you speak to how things work here at the studio in particular? Because we run really big games, and security is obviously the #1 priority because the game being fair is crucial. Can you explain how it works here in the studio?
It's great. So you basically have a control room in the back, which is where all the people are filming us right now. And then there's an entirely separate unit that you can't even have access to without a key card and a pass. And then inside of there's another locked door all the way in the back. So no phones go back there. It's completely shut down, limited to 2 or 3 people max that are in charge of graphics and relaying that information to the control room, which eventually comes out to your TV. So it's completely locked down here, security. That's the same situation with the World Series of Poker.
Yep.
In fact, they have a truck that you can't even get into, security guard at the door you can't get into. Again, no phones, there's nothing that can go back there that would allow for that sort of situation.
So it's great when you have a big production budget like for PokerGo or the World Series of Poker, but some of these smaller productions around the country, they don't have that kind of money to do these kind of things. So you have to wonder what's going on, how they're performing their security.
Yeah. With regards to playing at high stakes, are you wary and sort of guarded when it comes to cheating or possible cheating? Have you seen or come across that in all your years playing?
So I'm not the sharpest when it comes to spotting cheating, and I'm not the most aware, admittingly. But I do have. I usually play in games where there are people that are super aware and super sharp with that kind of stuff. So it feels safe when they're in the game, when I know they're honest players, because they're always watching. Admittedly, I'm not the best at that, but I have not come across personally of any kind of cheating.
Yeah, because the one thing I want to emphasize as well is that, this is all alleged, and even if it turns out to be true, it's very, very rare for something like this to happen.
Sure.
So in all your, decades of playing cards,
Right.
you've never personally even come across something like
I've never seen it. Then I don't play in home games, so I only play in casino games.
Yeah.
And for that reason, because I'm not sharp enough to spot the cheating, so I've stayed out of private games.
Right. Yeah, but I think it is important to mention, Brent, right, that it's not like
Yeah,
common
no,
occurrence.
it's a total rarity. I mean, since I've started, 12, 13 years ago, I've never heard of it in sort of a live atmosphere like
Right.
this. The home game rumors, those
Right.
things start to swirl and whatnot, but yeah, never inside of a production.
Exactly. All right, one final thing here before we let you go. Give us a little bit of a hot take. Who's going to be the biggest winner here across 2 nights of Dollys Game
I
action?
mean, obviously, I'm going to be the biggest winner.
There we go.
There's no question with that. I mean,
That is all I wanted to know. Matt Glantz joining us here on the show. You guys stay tuned for much more of Dollys Game, as well as another guest here on the podcast.
All right, we made it back to our
Put
little.
the hat on, Remco.
Which hat?
The one right behind
The cycling
you.
hat.
Yeah, put that on.
Yeah, but it's gonna mess up my hair. You want me to?
You can't mess
Okay,
that hair up
I'll put
any
the
further.
cycling hat on. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Show everyone what you're all about here.
All right, this is.
This is what you wear every single weekend, right? When you're out there on your Huffy, you're riding around. Look at that thing. Jesus Christ, you look just a tip.
You like that?
Look at it. That
But
is-
can,
you
wait,
look really good.
You can also do this.
No, that's not. I like that.
Is that even better?
That's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Smile right at the camera.
Yeah.
Get a real zoom in on that, would you? That is really nice.
This is a shout out to my favorite cycling team.
Is that what all
Jumbo
cycling
Visma.
people wear?
This is funny actually. I got this hat when I went to Tour California
Yeah.
in LA.
What's that? That's a bike race in California?
That's the biggest bike race in the U.S.
Okay.
And George Bennett, who is a rider for this
Sounds
team,
like a president.
he gave this to me. He's a New Zealand guy. He's
Yeah.
one of the best climbers on the team.
Okay, climber.
Climber.
I thought we were talking about biking.
Yeah, that you climb on your bike onto the mountain. You ride
With the bike on your
yeah.
back? Just
yeah,
walk up a
exactly,
mountain?
exactly. That's how cycling works. But yeah, anyway, this is my little memento that I snuck into the set. So I doubt anyone has ever noticed this before, but I've been keeping this thing behind
No,
me.
yeah, no one's ever noticed that ridiculously small
Right?
baby cap.
Well, the funny thing is that this thing on normal people actually looks kind of all right.
It's like a bonnet.
because you wear it under your helmet.
Yeah. Oh, you wear that under the helmet.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the funny thing is my head is so enormous.
you
I
have
wear
a helmet up
I
there.
wear
You want
a-
to put that on?
I
too?
wear a hat size 8. Like no joke.
Oh, you got a big noggin.
I got an enormous hat.
Yeah.
Head.
Yeah.
If we're doing the hat thing, put on the cowboy hat for me.
You want
It's
me to
right behind you. Put on the cowboy hat.
Wear the cowboy.
Yeah.
hat,
Well, your hair looks great today.
I have great hair.
Yeah, you have great hair. This actually really suits your look.
I kind of wanted to wear this Bonnie's hat the whole time, repping the Bonnie's brand.
Yeah.
But I'll be right in the center. It's a nice thing.
All right.
This is good. I'm gonna wear the cowboy hat.
There's like literally no blood flowing to my head if I wear this any longer. Anyway, enough with the nonsense. We had Matt Glantz on the show, as you guys saw. We talked a little bit about the Mike Postle situation, the accusations, the allegations, and everything else that's ongoing there. Brent elaborated a little bit on how it's different at the PokerGO studio and how in particular Nevada gaming is much stricter than California. This is something that Jason Somerville alluded to as well on his podcast with Joey Ingram. So, Brent,
Yeah.
now that we're another day into this, what are sort of your takeaways? How is this developing from your perspective?
It's very clear to me that there's a rogue operator in the peak room. Now, the peak room is the room that is supposed to be heavily locked, guarded, no phones
Right.
inside, absolutely no way to communicate with anyone outside of that peak room. That's you're getting the live stream, you're seeing the RFID graphics in real time. There's no way that this guy, if he is cheating, there's no way to do it without having access to the real-time graphics.
Right.
There's a rogue operator in there. I don't know who it is. They're pointing fingers at this, the tournament director out there, Justin. But I've seen him out on the floor during hands.
Right.
He's in video. So whoever's back there in the peak room, that's how that information is getting to Mike Postle.
Yeah.
That's how the cheating is happening. There's no other way.
But so can you say
Yeah.
that there's cheating going on? Because obviously we need to be very careful, even though I know I've watched the Duck Polk video,
Right.
I've seen some of Joey's stuff,
Right.
and also I've heard people that I respect a lot, like Jason Somerville,
Yeah.
talk about this. And Jason Somerville said this word for word, and I wrote this down. He said about the 5-4 hand against Ace King, Ace King. He said, I've never seen a hand played like that in my life by a winning player, and Mike Postle has posted results that are just absolutely incredible
Right.
and would make him, pot ripper-esque on the UB scale.
Sure, and you know, Jason's right. That hand was absolutely fucking ridiculous. Now, that being said, it's so easy to assume these allegations are true. It's so easy to assume that the cheating is happening, and I would say that it's like a 99.9% certainty that it is happening. However, there are outliers. Outliers are a real thing.
Yeah.
Could this guy be an outlier? Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, maybe. Nothing in me thinks that this guy is, you know, playing square, playing straight up. I fully, absolutely believe he's cheating.
Yeah.
As does everyone in the community that I respect. Now, one man doesn't think he's cheating.
Oh boy.
And I had conversations last night with this man inside the PokerGo studio. This man is out there right now on Twitter suggesting that this guy's a tremendous poker player, that this is exactly what he would do in these situations, and that man is Mike Matusow.
Oh, boy.
Mike Matusow thinks that it's unfair. He's calling it Postlegate. He adamantly believes that this man is just that good at poker and that these bluffs make sense and all these hands make sense because, and I quote, that's what he would do in all of these situations.
So we got Jason Somerville,
Yes.
Doug Polk,
Yep.
Haralabos, Joey Ingram.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, Matt Berkey.
Yeah, pretty much the smartest folks in the industry are all saying and pointing out and doing the investigations and saying, yep, this guy's cheating for certain. However, Mike Matusow does not believe that the cheating is occurring. And I'll tell you what, he's cheating. If Mike Matusow thinks that, then yeah.
Okay, but in all seriousness, to go back to what you said originally in the studio, the situation that we need to carefully explain to the audience, especially if you've never played on the stream, if you've never been, in a setting where there is a live stream table, is the security element that is so important for the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
And I want to relate this back to the PokerGo studio. And even though we've already said this, I want to go over this once more. The amount of steps necessary to make this safe, those are all in place everywhere when you're streaming in Nevada, and Somerville alluded to this with his run-it-up streaming, and there's sort of like 4 degrees of separation between the table and the one person who has access to the hole cards. That's sort of how it works.
Yeah, it could be one person in the peak room. It could be 2. It just depends on how elaborate the production is, the graphics. I think in our case for PokerGo, typically there's two folks back there manning the stream.
Right.
Folks do have access to go in there, but there's a scanner, right?
Yeah.
You have to have a certain card that unlocks it. Then you got to go all the way back to another locked door, scan it again.
And there's
to get in
security.
the back, and there's security.
Right.
You get through. You can't take your phone in there. It's at the end of the day with this situation, if the cheating is happening, you're dealing with scumbags. You're dealing with human beings that are acting out as scumbags.
Right.
They're doing this. There's no way to prevent someone from being a scumbag. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it, and you have to trust to some extent that the production that you're a part of is not doing this. And we can certainly guarantee that inside the PokerGo studio at the World Series of Poker that this stuff isn't happening.
Right.
It's too heavily guarded, and we have the right people in place where it just isn't happening.
And also, the one thing I want to reiterate, and this is interesting as well because I've had a chance to be inside the production room whenever this stuff, like Poker After Dark, is being taped, is that the people who are manning the cameras and calling the shots, doing basically everything that's ongoing at the studio, those people have no idea what the cards are. The cards are being added after the fact.
Of course.
So basically, when you see the camera cut back and forth, that is because there's a hand in progress and they're trying to follow the action. Those people are looking at a camera feed. They're not looking at the way the hand is played out, and that is a big thing for people to understand. Is that those people who are saying, okay, camera 1, camera 2, those people have no idea what the cards are because that's being added on that delay, whatever the delay is, 30 minutes, 45, 1 hour. So basically, you have to understand that the security aspect of this is because 1 or 2 people, like Brent said,
a rogue operator.
Well, I'm talking about the studio. 1 or 2 people have access. The rest of the people, everyone involved, sound, video, everyone has no access to these cards whatsoever.
Yeah.
And we are all seeing it. Same for Ali Najad who's doing the commentary. We are all seeing it as it's being shown.
Yeah, that's a great point too. Myself, right? I'm at these productions, every single one of them, especially Poker After Dark. Ali Najad does commentary.
Yeah.
We can't go back there.
Right.
We have 0 access.
Right.
We cannot go back there. We don't have the key card to get in there. And there's no way you're not allowed.
Right.
So we don't do it.
Yeah.
You can't go back there. There's no way you can access the peak room.
Exactly.
And someone, a part of that production at Stones, there is someone back there in the peak room that is absolutely responsible, just as equally as this Mike Postle guy that's doing the cheating at the table.
Yeah.
This is not a one-man operation. There has to be someone else involved, if not two people involved.
Yeah, there was a lot of strange hat touching. There was a lot of looking down while the action was ongoing, and the action was even on him, like some excessive tanking in some weird situations.
There was another hand, man, where he had aces. I saw a highlight just this morning where I believe he raised to $60 with aces.
Yeah.
Guy in the small blind, king deuce of diamonds, 3-bets to 150. Comes back to Mike, he 4-bets to 350. Guy in the small blind calls. Goes 9-6-5, rainbow with 1 diamond. Now the guy in the small blind has king deuce of diamonds. Long story short, it runs out a diamond flush on a double paired board. So it was 9-5-6, 9-5, run out.
Right.
Flush, right? The guy in the small blind bets $975 on the river. Mike, hand to the hat, comes up here where we think that bone conductor is, right? Where we saw the technology that's out there that's available. You can get it for $150 on Amazon. Not kidding. Hand to the hat. He's getting signals. He folds aces on the river.
Yeah.
With the ace of diamonds in his hand, keep in mind. Like, there's no way in hell that this guy is ever folding aces in any sort of situation, any sort of rundown, any sort of scenario, unless he knows that he's beat.
Yeah.
And he correctly folds aces.
Right. So while we on the podcast don't have enough time to go into every single detail about what is being uncovered by people like Doug Polk and Joe Ingram, I can highly recommend watch the Doug Polk video. He goes in depth. He shows a lot of clips. It's very well done. Yeah. And then if you have a lot of time on your hands, Joe Ingram did a 5-hour live stream breaking down every single hand that was being played. And I think Joey, in some capacity, might become part of this investigation because Stones tweeted that they're suspending all their live streaming play. That they tweeted that from their original account, and then they invited Joey, I think, to come in or to do something with them.
Take a look.
Take a look
at how our setup is. Yeah, that's fine. You can go in there and see a perfectly, good setup that's following the rules and regulations that are in place. But that doesn't stop someone from being rogue.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop someone from sneaking a phone in there or some sort of communication device that allows you to send signals. I mean, it's up to an individual to make these decisions, to go that extra length to cheat. That's what's happening.
Right. All right, so this is all being alleged, and an investigation is still going to be underway.
Yeah.
I would say just stay tuned to all your favorite people on social media. I'm sure that when more news comes out, Brendan and I will cover it here on the podcast.
Sure.
It is obviously a very strange situation that gives us a lot of memories, and we've both been in the industry long enough to remember the Ultimate Bet scandal with Russ Hamilton and Pot Ripper and everything that went down during that era.
How about that graph that came out?
The graph is very interesting. The graph that was shared I think it was the big blind 1 per 100.
Yes.
Where Pod Ripper was basically like way out there at the top, and then like every single other player was like right here, and then Mike Postle was like right here.
Yeah.
He was even further
Pod
to the
Ripper
right.
and Mike Postle are basically in the exact same ballpark.
Exactly. So. A terrifying situation. Like no one ever wants to be part of anything like this. We have to cover it. We hope more news comes out.
Yeah.
But it's a tough thing to cover, Brent.
It is. It's tough, but is it a black eye? Sure. It's unfortunate that every time in the poker industry, when the mainstream picks it up, when Scott Van Pelt's tweeting about it, when Ryan Rosillo is tweeting about it, when
Brian
Rich
Koppelman.
Eisen, Brian Koppelman, when all these guys have eyes on it, it's unfortunate that oftentimes it's negative.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Golden Knights because you came in here with a bit of a heavy head. I heard that you
slight hangover.
Had some fun last night. The Golden Knights season is back underway. I'm sure we'll be mentioning that plenty of times on the show. Did you have fun last night?
I had a blast.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had a blast. Really cool. Daniel and Amanda reached out to my wife and I and invited us to go to the game with them, the home opener against the Sharks. And I never had the opportunity to really go. Pretty busy. Evenings aren't great for us, with the kids. My wife's a school teacher. She's up early. We're up early. But it worked out where we could go to this game. And holy shit, man, there is nothing like opening night in the NHL, especially in Las Vegas. There's no way in hell that any other team, arena, venue celebrates and parties quite like Las Vegas does. I mean, it was insane.
The puck drop from space. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, 9,000, whatever.
93
from literally the stratosphere.
Yeah, 93,000 feet. I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
They sent it up in some sort of weather balloon until it popped and burst, and then that was the puck drop, and then they brought in some troopers that dropped it on the ice. Those were the guys that rescued the puck out in the fields. I mean, it's just what a party, what a team. I feel bad for any team that's coming to what do they call it? They call it
the Armory?
The Fortress?
No, the Fortress. Yeah.
The Fortress.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're calling it now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Golden Knights. I'm a hockey guy.
Well, I was gonna say you're always
I'm a hockey guy.
you're ragging on hockey all the time.
Oh, I'm a big hockey guy.
You're a hockey guy now?
I'm figuring out what rules are, how many people are on the ice, which I'm still not sure about that yet.
But are you gonna watch even when you're not going to the game, or is it gonna be in arena?
No,
only?
if it's on, I'm going to watch,
You watch?
the Golden Knights hockey games.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna figure hockey out this season.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're gonna get sharp.
Nah, I wouldn't get carried away.
All right. Well, I was sharp last night. I bet the Knights to win any under. We hit the parlay, so that paid for the drinks.
Yeah.
So I had a good time. And
drinks.
yeah.
You know how expensive drinks are at hockey games?
Yeah,
This
they are.
is insane. We got two. I mean, we got doubles, right? We get
Okay.
2 doubles. Tito's, whatever, and then 2 beers.
Right.
The beers are big. It's like a 16-ounce beer. $84.
What?
$84 for 4 drinks. Can you believe that?
That is ridiculous.
Is that insane?
That is insane.
I like. Is this real? $84 for 4 cocktails, and I get their doubles, but holy shit!
So you had a hard time getting drunk, is what you're saying?
No, I had a great time getting drunk.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
whatever.
Wait, I heard Matt Savage said you were trying to break up a fight, but you were actually trying to start a fight.
So we had this guy in front of us. Negrano's seats are incredible. They're best in the entire Fortress. Guys in front of us, not a season ticket holder, and he was a little rowdy. He's got the tattoos behind the ears and stuff, and he's standing up a lot. Matt Savage had asked him to sit down at one point. The guy snapped at him, and they sort of had some words back and forth. And I grabbed Matt's arm, I grabbed this guy's arm, and I brought their arms together, and they did a handshake. They eased it up. It was smooth, right? Scott Seaver was there, too. He was sitting right next, and he was just laughing at me the whole time, because I was the whisperer for this guy, right? So at the end of the game, all hell breaks loose.
What?
This guy starts getting in a fight with people 2-3 rows down. They run out into the aisles. They get into it. So of course Scott, he looks at me. He gives me like the bat signal.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. Oh my! I'm going in. So I went in there and I broke it up. I got the guy. I was whispering in his ear. Hey, not now. Let it go. It's not worth it. Knights won. Let it go.
And it worked?
And it worked. Security came down. The fight was broken up. Everyone went on their way peacefully.
Wow.
The whisper.
Damn, Brent.
Yeah.
You're incredible. So this is how you get these lineups together. You whisper to these people.
I think so.
And that's how they...
I think I have a gift.
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you do. But I'm not sure it has to do with what you just were explaining.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Knights are back on the way. I'm excited to have this back in our lives. Let's pivot right now into the interviews that we have queued up with Brian Rast and Anthony Alberto. Just to cue them up for you guys a little bit. Brian Rast went really deep onto his list of his favorite degenerates.
Guy can talk.
The non-wuss crowd.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
So he basically had 2 lists: the wusses of
Yeah.
Bobby's room and the BSDs, the big swinging dicks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that with Brian Rast, and then we have Anthony Alberto on the show. Big-time sports guy.
Big time sports guy.
He's going to get into some of his picks for the weekend. So if you're into that kind of thing, that's going to be a lot of
Oh
fun.
my God! His
And
lock of the week. Wait till you hear the lock of the week.
I'm surprised you're even here. And he's going to talk about some high-stakes fantasy action. So that should be a lot of fun. You guys go catch that right now, and we'll be back with the power rankings after these 2 clips.
All right, we are now joined by Brian Rast on Dollys Game, as well as the Poker Central podcast. If you've missed any of the action, every Friday morning a new episode is released with some of the most exciting guests in all of poker. And today, that's Brian Rast, and we're happy to have you here. And I haven't seen you in a long time, so...
It's a big bill to live up to.
I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Only the biggest guests here. What have you been up to lately?
Yeah, I've been playing poker. I mean, I played a lot of poker this summer, and even since the summer, I've been playing mixed cash games. I went to London. When I was there, I played a mixed cash game. I only played 1 tournament. It's the only tournament I've played since the WSOP. I've been doing a little Bitcoin stuff, family time. But yeah, I mean, I still play. I've just backed off the no limit tournament scene a bit, and not that I ever traveled, but there used to be a bunch of stops here, and I used to do a few things, and now I'm mostly just a cash game player, but I still play a lot.
Word on the street, that London cash game you mentioned, some videos slipped out. Rather healthy stakes, pot limit Omaha, is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, we were playing 15 3K.
Okay.
So it's like the regular.
Just a regular game?
I mean, it's the regular. I mean, during the World Series, the game in Bobby's room is never less than 2K, 4K.
Right.
It's
But that's
it
also
was-
limit, right? So
Yeah, limit. So the big bet, they strip the blinds, and there's a 40 big blind cap or whatever. So it's usually, so 4K, the big bet, the cap is usually 10 times the big bet. So a 2K, 4K limit game would have a 40K cap most of the time in Bobby's room. There's different games. But so this summer during the World Series, it was 2K, 4K up to 5K, 10K. That might have been one day. It was like
Jesus.
6K, 12K.
was that the 08 game?
Yes, I started the 08 only, 30-hour 08 only. It was a challenge between Aaron Katz kept talking smack about my 08 game. So we did it, and then Patrick, me, and Aaron started it, and then it filled out.
Did you
And then
get
the
'em?
game went like 30 hours.
Or did you get got?
Man, how did I do in that game? I came pretty close to breaking even,
Okay.
considering how long I played, and I was up or down less than 100K, I think.
So what I want to know is what leads up to you guys being like, or you being like, okay, we're going to play one game, 6K, 12K, which is insane, and then who's going to sit down? You said that it was you and Aaron Katz having some verbal battles.
Tony,
Yes.
too.
And then the guys just sat down, and all of a sudden, this is now a thing?
I mean, it looks like it might be just a one-time thing, or like maybe one time a series type of thing. You know, I mean, Aaron likes talking some shit at the poker table, and you know, he saw me play some 08 hands that he didn't agree with, and he was talking smack, and I took him up on it basically. So we ended up starting this thing, and you know, somehow Patrick was involved because Patrick couldn't see Aaron corralling the fish and then not get in on the action. So Patrick wanted in, and I mean, it's at a casino, it's at the Bellagio, and it's not like we didn't even ask people not to play. It's just like, we're going to play 08, and pretty soon other people joined us.
Probably not a lot of people trying to hop in the old 6K, 12K game.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's for the people that, you know, that don't have a chance to ever play that kind of stakes, and I'm not sure there's many out there.
Yeah.
What are the swings like in a game like that? Because to me, those numbers are the blinds, and that's crazy enough already. Like, what's the swing?
No,
like
those
here?
are the size of the bets.
Right. So
It's the 5K small bet and the 10K big bet was the game. But I mean, you know, it's like scale up. You know, if you play 200, 400, and a big win is like 20K. I mean, this game is 25 times that or something. So a big win is, 500K or something, or what?
$500,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a big win or loss.
Yeah.
You know,
I
but
think
like,
so. Yeah.
that's why when I say,
Qualifier.
I was up or down like close to even, less than 100. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking like 10 big bets. So
When you
for
drive
a 30-hour session.
when you drive home, up or down $500,000, what's going through your mind? Like,
Well, there's different things going through my mind depending on which side of the coin.
right. So give me both sides, because that's
Right.
interesting.
Like the up. I mean, you know, at this point in my career, I think I've gotten pretty dead to it compared to like what most people in the world would feel. You know, it just happens. But when I win, definitely a lot more positive energy. Like playing like the music, might be kind of giving a little shimmy at the stoplight, maybe And then when you lose, it's more okay, like a lot more somber. Definitely not dancing to any music on the way home.
Throw on a little Nirvana, Ron Jara. Yeah.
You know, I mean, either way, it's pretty likely I'll think about the session. I'm probably more likely to think about hands in the session on the way home if I lost. Like, oh, what do I think about that hand, blah, blah, blah. But oftentimes, if I lost too, unless there's something pressing, like trying to analyze a hand, I'll also try to like forget about it if possible. Whether or not that's possible. I mean, if it's a really big session, it might not be possible that day. I don't know. It depends. It's interesting how your mind works with that, but yeah, I mean, you know, happy when you win, not as happy when you lose type of thing.
6K, 12K this summer, right?
Yeah.
Is that the biggest game you've ever played?
The biggest game I ever played, I actually didn't play, the 6K, 12K went, so I was in the main game, and the must-move game went, and they bumped the must-move game up to 6K, 12K, and our main game was like 4K, 8K. And so, or 510 or whatever. But so I didn't actually play the time it was like 612 or whatever it was. But the biggest I've ever played in the mix was actually, so we do this hybrid mix game that's different than the normal Bobby's Room. The normal Bobby's Room mix game is like a mostly limit, like 8 limit to 3 big bet. And the big bet games are capped at 40 big blinds, which is, we'll call that medium bet,
Right.
okay? You know,
Short
like,
stacking.
I'm just gonna throw some shade out at everybody, but it's pretty wussy. Okay, it's for the wussy ass limit players who go like, oh no, like, oh, I wouldn't want to be put in a tough situation on the turn or river. We gotta only keep it at 40 big bets. Okay, oh, shaking in their boots, the limit players. All right, although I mean, I'm kind of a limit player myself too now, but I'm still not a wussy limit player, okay? I'm a limit player who can take it to the streets. Anyway, so this game, we call it the hybrid game, and it's a game I played after the summer a couple times, and it was 5K, 10K on the limit. And the big bet, there were some like different blinds and antes, but basically the standard blind would be 1K, 2K blinds with an ante. So like the no limit hold'em was 1K, 2K, and the big blind put out a 3K ante. So a pretty big ante.
But you could only lose 40K.
No, 200K cap.
Oh, okay.
So there was a cap, but it was 100 big blinds.
Yes, okay, 100 big blind
So
cap. Okay.
And that game was like 11 or 13 games, one more big bet game than limit game. So if it was like 11 games, it was like 6 big bet games and 5 limit games.
Which killers show up for that game and are part of the non-wuss mixed game?
Yeah,
crowd?
the big swing.
The non-wuss, the non-wuss mixed game crowd.
BSDs.
Yeah. So that game specifically was myself, David Oppenheim, and Marcus, and that double stakes with the big whatever that I just said, that was only us 3. But the normal hybrid, which is usually half the size, no limit. So let's say we just played it this last weekend, 3 days. It was 2,500 5K limit, 125K cap, and the big bet games were, instead of 1K, 2K, it was 500 1K on the big bet.
Okay.
So, and that just to actually answer your question now, that is who played? Ike, the Prince of Darkness.
So that's one wuss, Prince of Darkness.
Okay. Scotty.
Another wuss there,
Scotty
Yep.
Seaver,
Okay.
King of the Wild Frontier. Who else? Who else played? John Monet played.
Didn't know he was a wuss.
One day.
Yep, okay.
I mean, the people that played every day were me, Scott, Ike, Marcus. Nick played one day. He's in and out.
Nick more of the wuss or the big swinging dick?
No, Nick sits and plays.
BSD.
Yeah. Nick will come and play, you know, like, oh, this is the game. Okay, plop down some cranberries and play.
Yeah.
And then John played.
Johnny World.
No, Monet played one time this time, but he also played the last time. Like the last time when we played the super ultra big game, as opposed to just the big game.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, Oppenheim. It was like Oppenheim, John, me, and Marcus. But then when Monet didn't want to play the ultra big game, but when he left, we doubled it up.
All right, so what I want to
Okay.
know from you all time, who are the biggest badasses that you've ever played with, who sort of never back down, no matter how much the stakes got kicked up, who always are down to play? What's your top 5 badasses?
Okay, I can actually give you some guys for this.
All
So,
right.
in terms of like, I'm gonna give more, let's say like poker professionals.
Sure.
Or do you want just like anyone? Because I mean, you know, I'll do some of both. So, poker pros. So the number one guy that came to mind when you said it, I was thinking as you were spitting out the words, was Timofey, True Teller.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
This guy is just like, the stakes are just like never big enough. He's just always more. What games doesn't matter. New game. He's just down to gamble, and so he's number one. Other guys that kind of fit this bill that are just kind of, I mean, Jungle Man is kind of up there.
I like hearing
This is a good list.
Jungle Man, yeah.
This is a good list. Also,
I mean, after, you know what? I wouldn't sure that I would put him in there previously, But now, kind of like after doing this,
After the
I've
porn
gotta-
stuff, you think?
I've got to give. No, not jungle.
Oh.
I'm introducing my next guy.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
okay.
Maybe even Oppenheim now. I used to think he was more like the wuss limit player, but I mean now he's playing the hybrid game. What
Yeah.
double stakes, kick it up. It's never big enough. So
Hall of Fame,
I'm
man.
throwing Oppenheim. Like he made the Hall of Fame was like I got to back this up.
Probably smart.
Okay.
If you didn't put him on the list, I'm afraid of
Yeah.
what would happen to you.
Who else? Who else just like always plays? I mean,
What about Galfond? Is he a?
Ike is kind of there now.
Ike, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ike.
How about Gus? When Gus is around, is he there?
when Gus is around, he's on there.
Okay, yeah.
So we're throwing. So I'd go tier 1. I'd go Timofey. Okay.
Tier of his own?
He's just on his own.
Oh
and
my
you know
God.
who used
So
to
that's
be?
like the Mahomes of the fantasy.
and you know who else is kind of on there? Used to be tier 1 with Timofey, but I'm moving down. Is Durr.
Oh yeah.
Okay. If you go back, but then this next tier, I'll go with Durr, Tom Dwan, Jungle, Ike, and Oppenheim.
Are you a tier 2 guy?
I'm not gonna put myself on any
Oh.
list. I feel like you shouldn't rank yourself. You know, you can ask other people. I think there's a good chance I could make that list.
little humble rasp pie there.
but
huh? A little
but,
slice.
you know, I don't know.
Little
You'd have
slice.
to ask somebody else.
I mean, the fact that you are the instigator of the super ultra duper high no wuss hybrid game sort of qualifies you, I think.
Yeah, I think you're there. I'm gonna put you there.
Okay, cool. Right on,
I'm
guys.
gonna
Thank
put
you.
there.
Let's
You're
go.
there. Yeah.
All right, I made it.
Qualifier.
Yes, I did it.
That's amazing.
Something in my life went right. You know, it's fucking right on.
What I also want to know about is there any more prop betting action lately? You know, you've rode a bike through the desert, and that's
Yeah.
well documented. Is there anything in the works?
Yes.
What's happening lately?
I wrote a very cool double blog article on my website that chronicles first 2 bike bets that I won related to Dan Bilzerian, and another one somebody bought out of, and then one about the one that I did. It's very cool. Check it out if you like prop bets and crazy prop bet stories. Anyway, so no crazy side prop bets like that. I mean, I do some betting. Nothing about like physical challenges. I have some future. Actually do have a pretty crazy.
You got a little taste of
about
something?
I have a crazy bet with Lyle Berman and Jason Mercier about Bitcoin hitting 50K by like 2023 or 2024, depending on the bet.
You have the 50K side?
Oh yeah, I have it.
Is it gonna hit?
And guess what? I made the bet in like Q1 this year when Bitcoin was under 4K.
Oh, wow.
So I was getting a little price on the bet. I'm not going to give any specifics.
Yeah, no
right
deets,
here.
right? Yeah, okay.
But let's just say bet's already looking up. But other prop bets, what do? I bet on the NBA every year.
Yep.
I mean, basketball is the one sport that I really follow. I have futures. I bet win total over under. I have like a win the Western. I have on like 15 teams with somebody. With Doyle, who's playing today, we each picked. We did a draft, and we have 3 teams to win the Western Conference. I went 1, 4, and 5, and I picked the Clippers, Houston, and Utah, and he picked 2, 3, and 6, and he got the Lakers, Golden State, and the Nuggets.
Wow.
So it's like 40K or something.
That's a really fun sweat.
Yeah, I love like these type of bets. Like, you know, you bet on your opinion on like, you know, how the team's going to do, or I do this fantasy league. Like that stuff is fun. So I bet on the NBA.
Are the Clippers the odds-on favorite right now, futures-wise? to
Lakers,
win?
right?
Or
The
is it
Clippers are the
Lakers?
favorite, but there's nobody that's like odds on. It's not like the Warriors in the last few
Right.
years.
Got it,
The
okay.
league is like viewed as being kind of open this year, but the
Yeah.
team that is the favorite according to most odds, and I think is probably the best team in the league, is the Clippers.
Right.
I mean, I think the biggest question with them right now is kind of like what's happening with Paul George's shoulders. Is like health. Is Kawhi gonna, you know? But if they're obviously health is always a concern when you're picking someone. Slightly more with them than some other teams, but I think if they're healthy, I mean, Kawhi's like a 100% top 5 guy, and Paul George is either like top 5 or 10, depending on, you know, people have different rankings, and they just added those 2 dudes to a team that was already like pretty decent last year. There's a little continuity with them. I mean, that's why I picked them first to win the Western Conference. So.
All right, final thing, real short here.
Yeah.
Give me your NBA Finals, one from the East, one from the West, and give me your best bet for the season, whatever you're looking at for the NBA season that's upcoming.
Yeah, tell me how I'm going to make money.
Okay. Damn.
We need to make some money too, so.
Okay, well, the finals one I'll do. I mean,
Yep.
I'll pick the Clippers. I just said that. Like, I think they're the best team in the West. And from the East, I'm going to go with, it's kind of a two-horse race in the East.
Right.
And out of the two horses, I'm going to pick Philly.
Wow.
Okay, I think Milwaukee,
I thought Bucks for sure.
losing Brogdon, you could make some arguments that he's their third best player behind Middleton and like better, more important than Bledsoe. Just like he was a 40, 50, 90 guy with the percentages last year. He can create a little bit that's just the perfect kind of guy you want around Giannis. Better shooter than Bledsoe by a decent amount. So I think losing him matters. So, if Giannis is as good as he was last year, I feel pretty good about picking Philly. That said, Giannis is like a ultra beast human being who just like every year works on his game, ultra competitive in there. The team has to like lock him out of the gym. So like, who knows? Is he going to start stroking threes at like 38% this year? Like if he takes another leap, I mean, how much of a leap can you take? But if he makes a move up, then like, yeah, I don't know. So that's like the one worry to me with Milwaukee. I think their team is technically, with losing Brogdon, slightly worse than last year, but I mean, still very good. But how will Giannis get better? But then going to Philly, so why do I pick them? I just think the chemistry is going to work out a little better. Not sure Butler quite fit in there or anywhere, and Simmons 1 year more likely that maybe he has a jumper. They replaced Butler with Josh Richardson, who I think will fill in fine, and they got Al Horford. They added Al Horford to the team. I mean, their team's a little funky in that they kind of like don't really have guards. They're big, but I think they're going to be good. And I think it's possible that even between now and the trade deadline, they could always fill in with like a guy who can shoot threes, and if he's open, which is kind of like just guy to fill in the JJ Redick role, right from last year, and with like one or two moves, and I just think Philly's, I like them this year. Embiid's injury is always a question.
Right.
All right.
I love
I'm
it.
going to the book. I'm going to put $50 on that exacta in the finals. I got the Clippers and Philly. And you got to go to the commentator's booth, my man. It's time. It's
Man,
go
I'm
time.
excited.
Let's do this.
I'm excited.
For Brent Hanks and Brian Rest, I'm Remco Rinkema. Stay tuned for much more of Dollys Game right here on PokerGo and, of course, the Poker Central podcast. Hello and welcome back to the show here. We are now joined by Anthony Alberto during Dollys Game as well, of course, for all the podcast viewers and listeners out there. Brent and I are going to ask a lot of really interesting questions here because we have some things up our sleeve. But first of all, let's look back on night one of Dollys Game. Anthony, what sort of stood out about the first night of action?
I like all the mixed games. I mean, they're fun to me. I don't really understand all the rules completely yet, but
Makes two of us.
You're underselling it, though.
What do you mean?
I think you understand the rules really well.
I mean, I understand the rules, but I mean, these guys played thousands and thousands of hours, and I might have played a couple hundred hands of those games. I mean, PLO, I feel like I have an advantage, but the other games, they're fun to me. I like to squeeze the cards. Can we get like new cards, like so we can squeeze better? Because those cards, they're hidden. The box is hidden.
Right.
Not a fan of the cards.
The cards are nice,
Yeah.
but for squeezing wise, they're no good.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So what stood out about last night's game? Were any big pots or big spots that you remember that you had some fun in?
Well, Ellie enjoys when I play PLO with him because I try to get to the cap as soon as I can. In the cap game PLO, like with these guys, it seems like the old school guys will play like a little tighter to the vest. So when I keep making pots bigger, I take down a lot of pots and it saves me money from the money I'm going to give away in the other games because I think I played every single Badoogie hand yesterday.
Brian Rast said that the cap is on because a lot of these guys that play in Bobby's room, they're just a bunch of wusses. Would you agree with that sort of statement?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. In a mixed game, if there was no cap in PLO, and so a lot of times in the mixed games there's no limit also included, those two games would be the only games that matter because if you're betting 200, 400, and 800 on 4th Street or Fisher, whatever the case is, in PLO, the pots can be 50 big bets, and you can only lose, 5 or 6 big bets in one hand, unless obviously it gets capped. So it just keeps the blinds relative in all the games, like as equally important.
Right.
I think.
Fine. That's a very
That might have been
fine.
completely wrong. I have no
I
idea.
think you're probably safe.
I think you're right.
I really wanted you to say everyone out there is a wuss, and it completely backfired on me.
I got to be like,
Politically
correct,
Yeah, that's
right.
how you get invited to these games.
of course.
One of the things I find so fascinating is when I see a young kid like yourself play against Doyle Brunson.
It's cool.
As a poker fan and growing up watching and following the game, what's it like now to sort of battle with him?
It's pretty cool. When I was younger, I was the better player in like my neighborhood. We would play like hangouts and stuff like that. And then I would come home and I would always watch like Poker After Dark. Maybe my father would watch it on TV. And now that I play it, it's pretty cool. I mean,
Is your dad watching back home every
yeah.
time you play now?
my dad was out here last week, and we went to Bobby's room, and Doyle was there. I introduced him, and then the stud round, I made my dad play because he enjoys playing stud.
No way. That's so cool.
Well, what was that game like? What were the stakes over there?
Just 200, 400. Just a lot of guys just like to get out during the week. It's a nice time. We all laugh. We talk about all the games, how we lost all weekend. Same situation.
I mean, you brought it up yourself, lost all weekend. Is that an indication, and for the people at home watching and who are unfamiliar, we had Anthony on the podcast a couple of weeks ago where we went pretty deep into all the sports action that you're involved in.
Big time sports guy.
And,
Loves sports.
I'm getting a hint here that it's been a rough going lately.
Yeah, tough 3-4 weeks. Sharp stuff. It's not winning. At least my stuff isn't. I'm sure there's some that are winning, but we're just on the bad side of each bounce. I mean, it'll break eventually, but we're just on the wrong side of any bounce, any holding call. We're just on the wrong side.
That's what's been happening to me all year.
Oh,
I'm just
Brent.
on the wrong side of the bounce.
And you're so
I like
sharp.
that. Yeah,
And you're super sharp.
I am sharp. All right, I want to stay here. I need your lock of the week. NFL lock of the week. I desperately need to win a goddamn bet. Give me a ticket.
Well, this was not scripted by any means, but my pick of the week this week is the Buffalo Bills.
Shut that.
+4.
You're making this up.
I swear.
Brent, do a
Swear to
lap.
God.
Brent, do a
I
lap.
swear.
Buffalo Bills?
Yes.
I'm going to do the shots.
I need you to do a lap right now.
Oh my God. I'm gonna crash through this table. I'm gonna throw me through this table.
If I had any
The
strength-
Bills?
You're so heavy.
How much money do I have to give you to jump through this table?
Oh man, probably a lot.
you
'cause
can't
I'm gonna
actually
get
get through this
fired.
table.
No, I'm a big boy. I could probably go right through this table. The Buffalo Bills are your pick of the week.
Yeah.
What? They're +4.
Or +4. I think it's down
Tennessee?
to 3.5, 3
Yeah.
in some spots.
Why is that? Why do you like them this week? That's just what you're
just-
feeling. That's what the
no.
research tells you.
Research, my guy tells me the Buffalo Bills.
Really?
I'm just a dummy with money. That's
Oh my
it.
God, he must be a part of the Bills Mafia. This guy.
He might be.
Yeah.
Your earpiece is out.
Yeah, I know. Why?
That's what I'm being told.
Oh.
Jesus.
We're talking. I'm putting in my earpiece because I got so excited. I fell through the table. Yeah.
So, about the Buffalo Bills and any other bets for this upcoming weekend, you basically just follow the right information and then you sit at home and you just pray? Is that how it goes? Do you watch? Do you sit through all the pain all day long?
Every single holding call I watch. Saturday mornings, I'm up at like 6 a.m. I eat breakfast, which is usually slop food, and I go right into the room. I got the war room, as you saw,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I don't leave. I got a spreadsheet. I have
The dream.
like a dry erase board. I have the whole setup.
Oh my God.
So now that the Bills are your pick of the week, you need me there on Sunday.
Yeah, you can actually.
You want me to be there?
You can come over Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love what I wear. You ever heard of Zuba's pants? You know what those are? Zuba's pants?
No.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to send you a picture of these. They're like these stripes, blue, white, red things. They're really tight. You're gonna love the way they look on me too.
I'm sure it looked great.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
At this point in the season, who do you like for the Super Bowl? I mean, this can still go any way possible, but you must have some
I
future.
told you this last time, I believe. The Eagles are still my pick. They're a little banged up, but I think they're the best team. I think they have the best coach with analytic-wise. I mean, Belichick's obviously the greatest coach ever, but Peterson does things that no other coach does, and I think it gives them such a super edge. Plus, they're good. I mean, they're already an above-average team, but I think they're going to end up winning the Super Bowl.
It's the second guy this week that I've heard. I mean, obviously you told us that before, but Dan Patrick made his NFL Super Bowl pick. He also picked the Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, what Peterson does in a lot of spots, like fourth and, I mean, I'm a little bit of a gambler, but 4th and 1, any part of the field ever and anywhere, I'm never punting. He doesn't punt on 4th and short. From like the 40 on, his own 40 on, he just goes for it. Twice this year, they were up 7. They have to attempt the extra point. He went for it both times. No other coach in football does these things. I mean, that's just a massive edge. I mean, how big of an edge is it from going to 7 to 8, then going from 7 to 9? And these teams never, ever, ever go for 2 besides him.
What are you actually doing is you're setting yourself up for the biggest possible pain by picking the team that you're also rooting for.
I know.
As well as betting on it. And you were talking about the Phillies in the summer. Baseball season now, of course, getting into the
But
playoffs.
believe it or not, I have the Nationals a long time ago to win the World Series.
Oh, so you're now on the Nationals?
Even though they were a divisional team, I had that bet. It's a big bet to win the World Series.
Wow.
Boy.
Let's pivot into, before we get into some fantasy sports.
Yes.
because I know you want to get to
I
that.
want to go there.
But before we get to the fantasy
Okay.
sports, I want to stay on the real sports because tonight, as we're taping this, the Golden Knights are getting back underway here in Las Vegas.
Huh?
You were
I got my gear over there.
You're over here.
beautiful.
I'm ready. I'm a huge hockey diehard.
I'm gonna,
Yeah, I just figured out what icing is. The whole time I just thought it was part of a cake. Just eat it and had no idea where it was in the rink and every time, yeah, whatever.
I want to know from you, living here in Vegas and having a hockey team locally, how do you support it? How deep does this go? And are you now a hockey fan?
It's funny too because I'm from Philly and they're a huge hockey city. I never was a hockey guy. I didn't like the fans. The franchise stunk. They refused to get a goalie for years, so I just was out of hockey. I didn't really care about it. And then when the Knights came, it was like something here. So I got season tickets, and now like I love the game. I'm leaving tonight like an hour early just to go to the game. I mean, I know all our players. I know all the rules, but I'm not like, I mean, hockey's still like my 4th favorite sport. But just because it's in Vegas, the city's buzzing. Every employee in the area has on a Knights jersey.
Yeah.
Every single person.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a wager on the game?
Not yet. I'm sure I'll bet it just for some interest.
Little taste?
Right.
Rooting
Yeah,
interest.
Little taste. Yeah.
For the people who have never had the pleasure to go to a Knights game, and Brent and I have also had the privilege to do that, explain to me the atmosphere and why it's so special, because from seeing it on TV, you don't really get the full experience, but the Knights in general just seem so excited.
They got the castle up there. They have a marching band that drums by. They do like this big production before the game. They just include like what Vegas is about. It's flashy, the shows. They have like the gambling 50-50 thing. They incorporate everything that has to do with Vegas in a hockey game. So it's really cool.
And a lot of beer.
And
a lot of beer. Yeah. Yeah.
The last time you went to a game,
Yep.
and we talked about this on the podcast, you got lost. I think they almost had an APB out for you at the Red Rock.
Yeah, I didn't get home until about 3 or 4 in the morning.
I thought it was more like closer to 7 or 8.
You know the
in
game.
morning.
You know the game ends
think-
like 10, right?
I think I'm off there. I think, yeah, the sun was starting to come out. Yeah, I think it was 5 or 6.
5 or
actually.
6,
Yeah, my
right.
wife was really pissed off.
But you won playing poker.
Yeah, I played an all-nighter poker. It's the last time I actually played. I don't remember, but I know I was there.
Yeah.
Anyway, big-time hockey guy. I love it. That's what happens. I go to a game, I black out, I ended up at some local casino, and yeah, then I sleep on the couch for the
Are you going to
next
leave
week.
Bills Mafia and become Raider Nation?
No, absolutely not. I will attend Raiders games with you in your season tickets because I know you have 4 of those. Thank you so much for that invite. Appreciate it. But no, the Bills. I will always be loyal to the soil. Buffalo has my heart, and I will destroy tables.
So AFC Championship, Bills Raiders.
The Bills, they're not even close. Like, it doesn't matter. Not
Wow.
even close.
But so you were going to get season tickets for the Raiders, even
Yeah.
though that's not your team.
No, just like I'll give it to like friends, people at the Aria who always take care of me when I'm here.
Brent.
Brent, sell some, but the rights to the seats are pretty valuable because any event that comes to the stadium, you have access to your seats if you want the tickets.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
So it's pretty valuable, yeah. I mean, you'll make money long term if you have extra money. It's a good investment.
Right.
So
All right, let's talk fantasy here because fantasy is probably one of the toughest things mentally to sort of sit through every week because you always think you're going to win. And
the
there's-
amount of money I lost in the last couple of weeks betting sports, I don't care about as much as I care about how I'm getting tortured in fantasy.
Well, talk us about fantasy. How many leagues? What are the buy-ins? How much can you win? Is there a little side action?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm in 2 25K leagues that are really good, pretty competitive.
yeah.
They're my 2 best teams, thank God. Side bets with every team every week.
So what does a side bet mean? Like how many points scored
Yeah, whoever has
per
the most
player,
points. Yeah.
individual? Okay,
So if you're
that's
in the
how-
league and I'm in the league, you're playing Remco week 1 and I'm playing whoever. Me and you still have a bet. Whoever has more points between us, head to head.
Oh, wow.
Dear God.
So I
mean,
have a bet with everybody.
You must have so much confidence in your teams because when I look at my fantasy teams, and I'm only in 2 leagues, even now a few weeks in, I'm like, I can barely beat these teams. And they even give you a line, a spread on ESPN. So, like, do you have give points in some matchups?
No, we don't give points in matchups, but in some of the leagues we make daily lines and people bet on it back and forth.
Jesus, what a sick and twisted world.
Yeah, it's
So you're basically have over $100,000 in buy-ins for the league alone.
fantasy, yeah.
And then you've probably got 6 figures a week in action
Probably.
with side bets?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
What's first place in a 25K league?
I think it's 200,000.
200K.
I think so, because they pay 3 spots. I think so.
Oh
That's so incredible because no matter what you play fantasy-wise at home, whether it's a $50 or $100, there's always a threshold for someone to feel that pain.
Yeah.
And I feel like these stakes are just going to keep going
Well,
up.
this year is going to be pain for me. Last year, it's super weird because 3 of my leagues are auction, and 2 of them are snake. The 2 snake leagues last year I had first overall, and then again I drew first overall in both of them this year. Super strange. Last year people thought I was out of my mind. I took Barkley first overall. He was projected like 9th.
Right.
I took him first overall. I happened to be right. This year didn't go as planned.
Who did you bet on the
I
most?
skipped Barkley, and he got hurt, which was nice.
Yeah.
But I took Devontae Adams in both leagues first overall, which is turning out to be a nightmare.
Wow. How about in the auction leagues? Who did you really bid up? Who were you high on?
I got Fournette and Aaron Jones in most of them, and they're doing well.
Yeah.
My auction leagues are my best teams. I'm 3-1, 3-1, and 2-2 in the auction leagues.
Oh, that's got playoffs written all over
And
it.
then the snake leagues are real bad, and they're the 2 leagues I care about the most because it's like camaraderie type shit.
Right. Before we let you go, I want to just dive into some more pain and misery because that seems to be the theme
Thanks.
here on the
This
show.
is great.
Yes.
This is great.
Let's get some bad beats out of the way because then you're going to be nice and sort of mild.
I have
mannered.
a good one for you.
You have a good bad beat. I want to hear some sports bad beats.
This is a sports bad beat?
Well, I mean, poker bad beats.
Oh, yeah.
we've heard
Let's,
many of those.
okay, I
Yeah.
need this.
Well, who cares about poker?
Yeah, I
bad
know.
need
Who
to
cares?
feel this.
The-
Yes.
I had one of the worst ever this year. A few of our guys in our community were also in the same game. I had under Rice 57.5. They're playing Texas Longhorns. So there's like 4 and change to go in the game. It's not going to be completely accurate. So if somebody goes back and Googles it,
Yeah.
I might be off a few seconds.
Right.
They're up 35-0. I have under 57.5. So game's over. The
With
game's,
4 minutes to
yeah,
play.
the game's not even in jeopardy. It's not like it's 17-17.
Why are you even still watching?
How are you losing this? You're going to lose
I have
this?
6 televisions. It's going to be on the television. One of the teams kicks a field goal. I think Texas kicked the field goal to make it 38-0 with like a little over 4 minutes to go. Rice drives down the field like it's a 24-17 game. No rush, no nothing. They score with like 2 and change. So now we're at 45.
Okay, I still love it.
Sure.
Yeah.
They kick off to Texas. They run the ball up the middle for maybe 11. They run up the ball up the middle again for another 11. There's like a little over a minute to go.
Okay.
They do another play for 9. The guy gets out of bounds. So the time stops. They did like a sweep for whatever
We
reason.
shouldn't be doing that.
Next play, he runs for 67 and a touchdown.
Okay.
There's 28 or 29 seconds to go.
And now you're standing at this point, right? You're standing.
No,
you're-
the game's still over. I
still
don't
think
You're kicking the ball to Rice. Like, what could go wrong?
Or Rice scored. One of the teams scored. They're kicking the ball off.
Yeah.
And as soon as they kick the ball off, the game's over. I mean, they're going to kneel down or do one play and the game's over. Because Rice wasn't like chasing the time. They were
Right.
just going along with the procedure. They kick the ball 8 yards deep in the end zone. And the genius decides to take it out of the end zone. He runs it 108 yards for a touchdown.
Oh, my God.
And we lost that one.
Oh my God.
That was like 5 minutes after I lost the Tulsa game. We had Tulsa plus 14.5. They were down 5 with 6 and change to go, driving inside the red zone, and they lost by 19.
So then, what gets destroyed? iPads, laptops. Like, do you break stuff when this happens?
I mean, my TV setup's still set up just because I seen how much of a pain in the ass it was to actually build it.
Right.
So it's all intact. But when I play, the only thing I ever break is like iPads. I'm playing PP Poker a few months ago on the app. I lose an outrageous hand. The iPad got launched on Lake Mead Boulevard. It just got launched out the window.
Out your window? You just threw it out the window, an iPad?
Driving, boom.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
But I mean, I have a house. I don't want to break anything in my house.
For sure.
After 20 seconds, I don't even care. It doesn't even like it even happened.
In the
Like
moment.
if I lose a pot today, I'll be like, I won't be like, I'll be confused. Then like 20 seconds later, it never even happened.
I mean, I'm just happy you're
Holy
getting this out of the
shit.
way now before you start breaking monitors.
Yeah, you're
here.
tilting me now.
Inside
thinking
the
about
studio,
this.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely going to lose today. Yeah.
All right.
Really sorry.
We got Anthony Alberto fired up for Dollys Game. You guys, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for much more as the action continues.
Hold on, Rocco.
Yeah, you had,
Hold on. After hearing Anthony Alberto, the pick,
The bills make me wanna kick your heels up and throw your hands up and throw your head back. Come on.
partner, come on and shout. Hey, yeah. What do you think about that?
Are you even a real person?
You ever heard the shout song?
I mean, this is clearly from like the original Shout. They just made a remake of it.
No,
but,
that's the original.
The original is the Bills one.
Yeah, the other one is
Yeah.
That's a remake. Yeah.
Are the Bills going to make the playoffs?
Yes. Yeah, the Bills are for real.
They are. They
Buffalo
are.
Bills are for real. Yeah, their defense is top 3 in the league. Top 5 is an easy one. Top 3 is a bit of a stretch, but top 5 D in the league. It's all about Josh Allen.
Wow.
Got to get it together. Turning the ball over a lot, man. He's got 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions this year. That is unacceptable. We need to control the ball, Josh. All right.
Spoken like a true coach.
Well, if they want me on the field,
Yeah.
I'll head on the field.
You're a
If they
whisperer,
need-
I heard.
I could talk to Josh.
Yeah, I believe you can. All right, we have one
Josh,
last
take
thing.
it easy.
We have one last thing to cover here on the podcast. We have power rankings, obviously, and we have so many changes this week. We're gonna once again take it from 10 to 1. This is Brent's corner, so we're gonna get through all this. So, Brent,
Yeah.
without further ado,
Okay.
as they say,
Okay.
let's get into this.
Here we go. Number 10.
Yep.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. Never moving, never changing, always in the top 10, Bryn Kenny.
This is turning into a joke right now.
Well, Remco, it's not a joke. It's subjective, it's spontaneous, and
Right.
it's silly.
Right, it is.
Okay?
That's very true.
All right, and
Yeah.
Bryn Kenny is having the greatest year of all time
Agreed.
of any poker player.
Yes.
He belongs in the power rankings. He's got the swag. He's got the look. He's got the gamble. I wish he'd play poker more.
Right.
But, yeah, he's going to stay in there at number 10.
All right, cool.
Number 9, Dan Bilzerian. He's back.
I hate it.
He's back. Oh, you do? Well, why'd you write an article about him then this week on PokerCentral.com, which, by the way, was a great article?
Because, there's definitely a lot of intriguing things about him.
Sure.
Not power rankings ready.
Yes, he is. He's back. Dan Bilzerian's been playing private games. He's been playing poker. I know. I have sources.
Your sources?
Yeah, I have sources.
Do you have
People, they call me the whisperer, but I have people that whisper to me.
Oh, wow.
They say things, Remco.
Is he doing well?
I hear things. Yeah, he's doing well. He always wins. He's the best poker player on the planet. Biggest influencer. Dan Bilzerian, number 9, back in the power rankings. I love this one. Number 8,
Yeah.
Veronica Brill.
Yeah.
You may be asking, you may be wondering, who's Veronica Brill? Well, I will tell you. She is the whistleblower. Veronica Brill is the one that came forward with this alleged cheating scandal happening at Stones. She came out. She put her job on the line. She's a commentator there.
Right.
She's got her own game that she puts together. That's gone. Right? She's no more. She put her job on the line. She put her pride. She put her entire character on the line because she fully believed in this. She was right, it looks like.
Yeah.
She got Joey Ingram involved. She got Doug Bulk involved. If it wasn't for Veronica Brill at this time, I don't know if this thing comes out.
Right.
You know?
And her Twitter handle is Angry Pollock, and her last
Polak.
Her last name is not on her Twitter handle. So if you're sort of confused about this,
Yeah.
it's Veronica 2.0.
Yeah.
That's her name on there.
Yeah.
So she's the whistleblower on this whole scandal. So
She's great.
She's
extremely refreshing.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. I'm not going to lie, Remco. I pay very little attention to what's going on in the Stones, but every time that she's in the booth and I hear her,
Yeah.
she's really a delight. And I hope that she took a lot of heat
Right.
away
Yeah.
initially 4 days ago when she broke this thing, and I hope that people go back and apologize to her because she deserves it. And Veronica, nice work. You belong in the power rankings, number 8. Moving on, number 7, the truther himself, Mike Matisow.
Unreal.
He's here. He's in the power rankings. This man believes that Mike Postle is innocent, calling it Apostle Gate. Mike Matisow, you are truly a unique specimen. And by the way, he booked a nice win.
I was gonna say, yeah.
he kicked some serious ass last night. Night before he won $200, but night 2 he booked a nice solid winner. Mike Matisow gets it done. He's an elite mixed game player.
He's an elite character.
Yes. Yeah, he certainly is.
That's how I like
We're
to
gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
okay,
leave
an
it at
elite
that.
character, the truther, Mike Matisow. Number 6, the gunslinger, Doyle Brunson, the man, the myth, the legend. Dolly, man, he still got it.
He
still
does.
got it.
Yep.
It's incredible. Gets in there, plays with the boys, shows them a thing or two, does it every single time. I hear stories about him in Bobby's room, still one of the biggest winners. Doyle Brunson, man.
The funny thing about Doyle is that whenever he shows up to a game, the first thing he always does is, and I'm not sure if this is like on purpose or not, is like, some kind of needle, some kind of jab, some whining, some complaining.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an ongoing sort of hustle in some kind of way,
If
right?
you ever are trying to get Doyle's attention or if you need anything for him, you know what you need to do? Make him some muffins.
Oh, really?
The man loves a nice, good old-fashioned blueberry muffin. The guy loves them. Can't get enough of them.
So that's why Maury is one of his best friends.
That's right.
He's-
Kathy makes the best muffins.
She delivers
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, love seeing Doyle there in the power rankings. He's back. Number 5. Here we go. Top 5. Anthony Alberto, big-time sports guy, loves the Buffalo Bills this week. Alberto belongs in the top 5. He was sort of the young gun in the lineup.
Yeah.
And he wears that giant diamond chain. I love that. He's got the hair. He goes to his barber every single time before he comes on a show. Gets up at 5:30 every single day to check the lines. He's got business to do. Alberto, man, top 5.
I love the fact that Alberto plays in our games because even though he says that he has no clue, he still plays a style that works really well.
Yeah,
He doesn't. He puts pressure on people. He plays hard, and I think it works.
He plays with his gut, and he goes with his feel, and he goes with his read, the intuition, and I really respect that. He's not spending a lot of time in the labs trying to solve these games. And admittedly, he thinks he does have an edge in PLO. I think he's right. He tried to implode every single pot he was in, and I respect that. He wanted to gamble, and he also has a unique skill set. Number 4. Jason Somerville. Jay Carver. Run it up. You may be wondering, Remco, why is Jason Somerville in the power rankings? Well, how about the new innovative feature, I believe it's called Chat Plays, that Jason Somerville has started. He continues to bring these nuances to the game to try and increase the amount of fun that you can have as a user, as a fan, tuning into these live streams. You actually determine the action of the player. There's a GoPro on, you're seeing the whole cards, and you're voting. Call, race, should I go all in? You're deciding as the fan. Chat Plays, Jason Somerville belongs in the top 5. And, a little spoiler, next week, Jason Somerville will be on Poker After Dark. I'm going to add a little bit more to that in just a moment. Stick around. We have a very exciting game coming up. However, we've got to get to number 3.
Oh, and I want to mention
rankings.
as well
Okay, please.
that part of Jason also getting ranked is his highly intriguing and interesting interview with Joe Ingram.
Oh, yes, of course.
Because they went really deep on this Mike Postle investigation, and this, of course, ties into some other people that you have lined up here.
Yes, exactly. We will get to that lineup next week. I'm really excited about this. Number 3 in the power rankings, we mentioned him, Matt Glantz. He built Dollys Game. He was the host, put the whole thing together. He made my job so easy. Thank you so much, Matt Glantz. You deserve to be in top 3. God damn, he looks good, doesn't he?
He does.
Chiseled. Absolutely chiseled.
And he says he's going to lose another, 20 or 30?
That's insane. He can't. He's at 190. What's he going to get down to, 150 pounds?
I don't know.
I mean, he'll be dead.
Put on some muscle.
No, don't. He looks ripped.
He's
got the muscle.
He looks big.
Yeah, he's got the muscle. We need to mention, too, his daughter, American Ninja Warrior.
I know.
The junior stuff. We've got some footage. We'll roll that.
Come on, Avery. Avery. Know what to do.
I mean, holy shit.
I got cramps in my arms just watching that clip. Yeah, it was really impressive.
Wow, man. When I was 14, 15 years old, whatever age that was, I wasn't getting off the couch playing video games.
Nothing has changed.
Eating chips, having lollipops, not doing my homework. Sure as shit wasn't out there working out.
I mean, that might be part of Matt's motivation to see his daughter perform so well and try so hard. Yeah. And then, he's always been a big guy. And at least from the last couple of years.
It's one thing when your son's able to kick your ass when you're a dad, but when your daughter's kicking your ass, man, get to the gym, Matt.
Yeah.
Get to the gym.
But I mean, big shout out to her. But I mean, that was really, really impressive.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Number two, Doug Polk.
He's back.
He's back. Oh man, is he back? I got to tell you what. I mean, Doug Polk, what a job he's done in this industry, creating this fan base, this rabid fan base, all the Polksters, the followers out there. He's got like 250,000 subs on YouTube alone. He's making content essentially on a daily basis now. Yeah, he's not playing poker. He's very open about that. He's essentially retired, but he is not done with the content.
Right.
Creating great stuff over and over and over again. If it wasn't for Doug Polk and the next guy here in the power rankings, I don't think this story would have gotten quite as much press and as coverage, and the whole thing wouldn't have broke out quite like it has. So props to Doug Polk.
Definitely.
His hair looks good too.
Yeah. And if you missed it, watch the video on his channel about the Mike Postle investigation.
Also a physical specimen. Doug Polk, man, he's lost a lot of weight. looks good, thinned out, wearing the tank tops. You know, the
He wore a
arms are
shirt.
defined.
He wore an actual
Well,
sleeved
you know,
shirt.
when sleeves are on, he means business.
Yeah.
Yeah, he means business. Number one, this is a no-brainer.
I agree.
It is Joey Ingram. Joey Ingram is number one in the power rankings. The guy doesn't sleep. All he does is create these investigation videos. All he does is put out content for the people. He is the poker king, the king of all poker media. That's Joey Ingram. He's this blend. Remco, you were in Siberia, but
Yeah.
he's self-declared he is the love child of Howard Stern and Oprah. So, Joey Ingram just continues to put out content at a high level. It's engaging. It's interesting. I'm always waking up, checking out what he's doing out there. He doesn't sleep. I am worried about his, lack of sleep, his health habits. But man, does he get it done?
He also lives for this stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Like, I love making fun of Joey, and me and him are friends, so, it's obviously a lot of fun to also poke fun at him when he does, like, some of his, like, investigation videos. But, when he does these things about, this very serious topics,
Yeah.
he does it better than anyone. Like,
he does all of his content is great. I mean, it's not for me like the 5-hour podcast. I can't watch 5 hours. I can do like 15 minutes.
Right.
But clearly folks are. There's an appetite out there. People are watching all of it. And it's amazing. It's truly, truly amazing. I love, by the way, when he does the breakdowns, the fights. That's my favorite thing that he does. That's my favorite piece of work that Joey does.
I feel like
He's a commentator.
Some Buffalo Bill fans are going to be in some of his videos in the future.
Oh my God, yeah. He belongs in the Bills Mafia.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
He's a Chicago guy, so maybe is there some Bears?
I can convert
Bears,
him.
Bills.
I'll convert him to Buffalo.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's more of a Buffalo guy than a Chicago guy. There's no doubt about it.
All right.
Buffalo Joey.
All right, well, those are your power rankings. Check them out on Instagram as well if you want to read through the whole list. And if you want to leave a comment, please make sure to do so. And Brendan, as we sort of button this whole thing up,
Yes.
I just want to mention that the Poker Masters is coming up. November 5 is when the action gets underway on PokerGo. If you want to play, it starts obviously a day prior because we have a final table for 10 days straight from the PokerGo studio with exciting commentary, exciting players at the final table. Should be a good party there for as far as tournament poker goes.
That's
but
right.
before that, we have some cash games coming up, Brent, and
Yes.
I think we have 4 more nights of Poker After Dark, the first 2 of which already have been announced. So please walk us through that once again.
Oh, man. So next week, we are all in for a treat. October 8th and 9th, 10 and a quarter, going to be played, $25 ante. 3K men.
Yep.
No limit hold'em. Run it up week.
There we go.
Coming to PokerGo October 8th. It will be free on Twitch.
Wow.
It will be free on PokerGo. Anybody can tune in. You can watch the action. And then the 9th, it will be exclusively on PokerGo. This is a really sweet arrangement, a great deal, partnership that we have made with Jason Somerville and Run It Up. It'll be hosted on the Run It Up Twitch channel. I believe it'll be on the Poker Central Twitch channel, which, man, I don't even think we've had that running in years.
I know.
So really excited for that. A lot of exposure to this game, and we've got some great characters. I'm going to run through the names right here.
Give it to me.
Jason Somerville, Ricky Guan, Jamie Kerstetter, Johnny Vibes, Mark Mazza, Nathan Manuel, and Pat Carter. Pat Carter, by the way, looks like a blend. We talk about Love Child, Jose Canseco and Mark Wahlberg.
I mean, that's a big human
That's
being.
Pat Carter. Yeah,
Right.
he's an animal. Hilarious guy. I've watched him on Jason's stream when he does his basement game for charity. Pat has played.
Right.
He's great. He fits right in with this bunch. Really excited. How about Johnny Vibes coming out here?
I mean, I cannot wait to see what a table talk is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think, in particular, because of what happened with Mike Postle and how much of a hot topic this is, there's going to be some great conversation at this table.
I think so. And God, I mean, who knows what's going to happen this time next week? By the time this game gets here, all the news that's going to be out. Who the
Right.
hell knows what's going to be going on? But yeah, Johnny Vibes, he's out there. I just started following him. I didn't realize I wasn't following him on social media.
Huh.
But, man, he's another guy that makes a lot of content. He does some interesting things. He's got his music. He's got his own little clothing line going on there, the Vibes mode or whatever
Deep
it is.
V?
Deep Vibes.
Or something like that.
Yeah, Deep Vibes, yeah. Brothers with Andrew Moreno, who's a cash game beast. He also has a lot of tournament success. And, of course, Andrew's married to Christy Arnett,
Yes.
who I love Christy. She's been around poker for a long time. Yeah, good people, man.
For sure.
Got
Should
the vibes coming out here.
So can we guarantee that we have Somerville on this podcast next week?
Done.
Are we gonna make it happen?
Somerville's coming. I want to get. I want to get Jamie too. I love when we have Jamie on.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to get Jamie Kirsten
Cool.
involved with the podcast too.
Let's make it happen.
And then maybe we can get Vibes.
Yeah.
You know what Vibes does that I don't like?
Oh,
He blocks people.
wait, on Twitter?
Yeah, he blocks people.
Are you-
So if you say something
Are you-
about
Are
him,
you blocked?
no, I'm not blocked.
Oh, okay.
I've never said anything bad about him. But if you say something bad about him, he just blocks you.
Maybe we'll get to the bottom of this on the.
I
want
want to know why he just blocks everybody.
Okay, cool.
I mean, come on, man. Take on your enemy face to face. Let's go.
All right, let's wrap this show up. We've been going on for way too long. I just want to let everyone know that was listening to this show just through your regular podcast feed. We are on PokerGo every Friday morning with the podcast. And don't play that stupid Bills tune right now because I'm in the middle of my outro. I just want to mention as well, this guy's unbearable. I want to mention that if you are a viewer, you can also subscribe to the podcast, and then you get the audio feed into your phone every single Friday. So if you don't have a chance to watch, you can always make sure to listen as well. And this might be the most impressive thing of my professional career here, doing podcasts, talking through this nonsense, and being able to tune it out and still stay on my
Here comes.
outro.
Hey!
Oh, all right. This was the Poker Central podcast. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'm going to need some therapy after whatever this is. We'll catch you guys next week. We'll have Jason Somerville on the show. We'll have more action from Poker After Dark. And unfortunately, Brent will be back as well.